building up a wall till it breaks. She hated when I call and it's late. I don't wanna keep you waiting. I hope I never keep you waiting. Yeah, I think I know it all, but I don't. Why you always at the mall when you're broke? Yeah. And I just wanna ball, maybe dunk, but I never been tall. Yeah, I might trip, I never fall. God knows I came close.
Don't try this at home.
I know I probably need to do better. Whoever keep my together. You never told me being rich was so lonely. Nobody know me. Oh well, hard to complain from this 5-star hotel. I'm always in a rush, I've been thinking too much. But keep it on the hush, no one need to know, just us. That's really all it takes. We don't need nothing but today. The world is so small, till it ain't. I'm building up a wall, till it break. She hate it when I call, and it's late. I don't wanna keep you waiting. I hope I never keep you waiting.
All right, and behind me you can hear the smooth guitar of Connecticut native John Mayer. Speaking of notable Connecticut natives, my guess, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
What's good? I'm Mike DiMartino. Me and Sam go way back. We went to high school, a little bit of elementary school together.
And your dad was my Little League coach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have so many pictures of you with that teeth. It's just so awkward. My mom sends me to them all the time. And Brandon Batista.
What's going on? My name's Brandon. I'm from Orange. Known Sam for a while. I see his dad occasionally at my work. And yeah, we're gonna do this.
All right, so starting off, let's just get right into it. The Revenge of the Dreamers album. So for you guys who don't know what Revenge of the Dreamers is, it's a compilation album by the Dreamville Collective, which is headed by J. Cole. Every couple of years, they'll get a bunch of artists together, collect them, and try to get them within 3 to 4 days to come in and record. They'll get a whole array of producers and all the music that they make right there, and then they kind of release. They have had 3 albums already. The second one didn't have as many notable stars on it, and the first one was pretty under the radar. This one was pretty notable because they made it pretty public on social media, publicizing the invitations, doing a documentary for it, and having big stars in every single array of hip-hop. All right, so let's get into it. What did you guys think?
So for the Revenge of the Dreamers 2, it felt like there was it was mainly just Kaz, Bass, and then J. Cole, and then whoever else is on there, really. But then this one, you just had a bunch of different guys come in, and it was all still in their camp, but it just felt really, I don't know, it was really tight. It looked cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think, compilation albums themselves are kind of, tricky. The first 2, Dreamers 1, obviously 1 and 2 didn't get the buzz and, kind of the publicity rollout that the third one's got. I mean, that's possibly just because, the level of fame of Cole at this point, kind of one of the hottest artists in the game, so he has all the connections in the world to bring in all these producers and stuff. But like I was saying, compilation albums are hard, but I think this was really kind of cohesive. All the songs kind of really fit well with, the same type of vibe they were going for. And they got some great verses out of there. I think all the features were perfect. And they also did a good job featuring their own artists, taking care of them, guys that aren't necessarily as mainstream as Cole is, but they definitely used this platform as an opportunity to put them on the forefront and put their own artists on a pedestal. So that's kind of what I loved about it.
I feel like that's kind of a double-edged sword with Dreamville. There's some moments where I think that the feature was just so unnecessary that it kind of tainted the song. The first opening record, Under the Sun, with Cole and Baby, I would have loved it if it was just Cole and Baby. Loot was nice, but I think that's always kind of been my issue with these Dreamville-esque records, is that there's always a feature on there that I don't really need.
Right.
You're just kind of wasting time.
But what I was saying is, I think they really tried to fit every artist in there as much as possible. They wanted to take care of everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like
Everybody
we
that
don't
showed up to the
see a
sessions.
lot of stuff like this where they're all going in a session where guys aren't just emailing stuff back and forth. I mean, granted, people still do sessions, but this was really cool. I thought I'd like to see more stuff like this, like seeing artists come together and be positive and make something.
Yeah.
Well, this is how people like kind of described how Ye was formed. If you remember, he had people flying in and out of Wyoming. Kind of Cole took that kind of like way of making music and made it more organic. It
Even
made it
Ye,
more.
even Ye and Cole, it's been around forever. I feel like just with the internet now, you can just email a verse back and forth, and that's probably what guys are used to, you know. And then they just technology probably wasn't even there.
And
for that.
they a lot of people compared it to the Good Friday sessions.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
yeah.
everyone was waiting to see like who was gonna be on those Good Friday tracks. Because like Ye had the star power to kind of pull anyone in. Like if you asked any artist to, come be on his track, they would probably say yeah. So Cole's kind of the same way now.
And you're right. Compilation albums are really tricky. Like you had The Firm, which was a huge disaster with Nas, Foxy Brown in the early 2000s. And then a more recent example would be DJ Khaled's records, where it's like it just doesn't feel organic. It doesn't like compilation albums are hardest because when an artist makes their own music or they're featured on someone, they're kind of putting their own stake into it, like their own value into their music. But when it's a compilation album, it's no risk to them. It's just a bag. You know what I mean? Like Future could talk about sipping lean and being unfaithful to women for like $50,000 and it feels like nothing. But like when it's his own music, it's different. But on like I don't know, I just feel like it's just so impersonal, and I feel like this album actually feels very, very personal to me. Like it feels like they wanted us to feel what they were feeling. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I was saying about like, it sounded very like the camaraderie from song to song, the transitions. It seemed like a very structured like album, rather than even the first two Dreamers projects were kind of the tracks were kind of all over the place. It seemed like it was very like. I mean, there was good songs.
It wasn't
a
full production. Like
right, it wasn't a full production, exactly.
So, Brandon, do you think that the chemistry was good? Do you think that the features were good? Or was there anyone else you'd want to see on there?
I probably didn't. I don't care too much for Ski Mask too much. I'm not gonna lie to you. Him.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. He was just quickly on there.
I'm a huge Ski Mask.
Yeah, you're a big Ski Mask
guy.
guy.
But I'm a big
So
Florida.
am I.
I'm a big Florida music guy. That's kind of the scene that brought me into the music that we're in today, like Kodak, Smoke Perp.
I'll kind of like put off rappers just because of sometimes how they dress. Honestly, if they look like I don't know, I'll just look right past it.
And
it just looks silly to me, and I just can't like get with it.
So you didn't like the Ski Mask feature? Anyone else?
Didn't like the Ski Mask feature a whole lot, but I really been listening to this album a bit for like the past few days, and I like all the feature. It all sounds like it just fits well. Like everybody fits well, and you could just hear the positiveness in all their songs, and they just look happy doing it. And I don't know, I was really with this album.
I was questionable about the Baby feature at first.
I love the Baby feature. I love it.
I
dude.
love it too.
I'm not even
No,
a big
I love
Baby
it.
fan because everyone plays it in the street all
right.
day long.
I'm a huge Baby fan.
I like him.
I was questionable about it at first, but when I checked that, like when I listened to that first song, you kind of realize like the Baby's actually like got bars.
Of course he's
Like,
got bars.
He could
The
really
Baby's the
hang.
hottest rapper in 2019.
And it also made sense because he's from Charlotte, like Dreamville,
Yeah,
North
and
Carolina.
But
Like,
now-
I like that.
And
I like that.
just to see like how big the Baby's got, like 2 months ago, it came out that the Cole and Baby were gonna come on a song, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, thank God Cole's giving the Baby a verse." And now it's kind of like the Baby almost has as much mainstream power as Cole, like on the radio.
And he bodied that track. He
And
kind of stole the show on
he
that
could-
opening track.
He can rap the word I can't say on the radio off. Like he rapped he always kind of goes and it was kind of interesting because
Right.
you don't really hear him rap over soul samples a lot.
Yeah.
And that was a beautiful soul sample that he rapped over. But I don't know. Did you guys think the loot feature was necessary? Like, how did that make you guys feel to hear that on the record? I was just like, why are you here? Like, I just want to hear here's the song in the background, Under the Sun.
Even that T.I. verse just came out of nowhere, and that was cool. Like, what?
That's one of my favorite songs.
I was gonna
Yeah,
get, I was
I
gonna
didn't
get into that
even-
later,
I
but that
put
is
right
my
past
favorite
that.
song by far. Like by far,
Really?
the JID, because I'm a huge Tip guy myself. I love trap music. I think T.I. is a legend, top 20 rapper of all time. And to hear him and JID was the MVP of this whole project to me.
100%.
You guys agree?
Yeah, 100%. He's on almost every song, and I like what he does on there. Whole
Yeah,
lot.
he's kind of turned himself into like kind of like the Cole Jr. of the Dreamville group.
Well, he can just rap so well.
Right.
I'd say I put him second. I honestly think he would be the next guy in line from Cole in that Dreamville. who's
Right.
just out, like, that's
100%.
out there, and everyone can vibe with him.
Wait, first of all, let me just like get this straight. Is it JID or JID?
I was thinking that
It's JID because I was watching the documentary, and they were all saying Jid.
You know what? I know. I was thinking the same exact thing. I was like, I don't want to sound like an idiot because I'm on the radio and everyone can hear me at 103.5 FM WNHH, your home for local and community radio, streaming
right.
live at the newhavenindependent.org. And tune in. Check us out on Apple Podcasts.
That wasn't easy.
And especially when I have asthma.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he was the MVP. I thought that he did so well. And you know what was kind of missing? He used to be able to rap really well. And I don't really care. I care if you can rap really well, but I want you to say something. And I feel like on this record, his lyricism was just so much
Hell
tighter.
yes.
Like it was so tight, especially that ladies, ladies, ladies track. Like,
Right.
and he just like the way he was rhyming and the chemistry he had with T.I. That was my favorite track on the record. What was your guys' favorite track on the record?
Costa Rica is my favorite.
Costa Rica. That song was really nice.
I like. Oh yeah.
I think like every guy that was on that song, every artist that was on that song was like perfectly selected. Like everyone's flows bounced off each other perfectly. It was like they were going bar for bar, but it still had that like kind of like trap turn up vibe. Reese LaFleur, who also I got a
shout out Reese LaFleur.
Reese LaFleur, also I got an opportunity to meet last summer.
Wow, I love Reese
when
LaFleur.
he came to my school to perform. I talked to him a little bit. Nice ass guy. But he bodied that first verse. I mean, first couple bars.
Yeah.
But and then you said you didn't like Ski Mask, but like I think his flow was perfect in that song.
That's really what he does really well is the flow. What about you, Brandon?
All right, so I love Swivel. That's probably hey, keep your head on a swivel. That's got Earth Gang on it. So I got into Earth Gang like a month ago maybe, and they've been around since like 2013.
Yeah.
They've got records that go back, and I don't know if Dreamville just picked them up or something in the last 2 years or something, but I just keep seeing them affiliated with.
Well, they work with
Cole.
everyone. I've been on them for like a year now. I really like the new track they did with Thug, Proud of You.
Yeah,
There's
great song.
They just have a very good chemistry with everyone who makes music like that. And honestly, anyone who makes music, you have like Thug, Cole, you have all these people like Earth Gang just has this really good chemistry. And they're kind of the glue that holds the project together. Like they're on every song.
JID and Earth Gang, they're on every song, and I swear they hold this thing down the whole way through. I love it.
Obviously Cole, like Cole's rapping on this entire project was so A1. Like he was just so crisp on the entire thing. It didn't feel like he was like he doesn't usually sound like he's phoning it in, but he really didn't sound like he really like put maximum effort into it.
I think the only Cole song I don't listen to on there is that one with him and Nudie, the one you're playing right now.
I love this song.
I'm a huge Young Nudie fan.
I think this song's hard.
Yeah.
Young Nudie has been one of my favorite rappers for the past like 2 years. I don't know what it is about his like slow, methodical flow, or maybe his like very graphic imagery that just really because I like trap music a lot, and Nudie makes like normal trap music. Like, obviously, I like all, like, the colored hair, like, the crazy, extravagant Atlanta scene, but I also kind of like the Gucci, Jeezy, T.I. kind of lineage of trap music, and that's kind of where Nudie fits in. And it's cool to see Cole be able to adapt to any environment. I think that's the best part about Cole's recent output, is that he's able to rap with Thug, he's able to rap with Nudie, just as well as he can rap with Omen. You know what I mean?
Right. I think, like, I was glad they put this song in there, because I was kind of waiting, like, the first couple of tracks, listen through, I'm like, I want to see Cole like spaz on a trap beat, like go like the fact that he could, hang on there with Nudie, and then do all his like lyrical stuff, like all his Dreamville stuff is. I think that's kind of what like the middle child like track was about. The fact that he's kind of like feels like he's the bridge between generations, and like he could hang with both. So I think that kind of like fit in perfectly. Especially with the Middle Child track coming like right after this, I think.
Yeah.
Even those singles were nice. Middle Child, Costa Rica, Lambo,
Yeah,
and
Lambo
it was
Talk.
Down Bad.
I
I think was probably my favorite. I like that a lot.
Yeah. You didn't like Nudie? Did you like Nudie's verse on Down Bad?
I did like Nudie's verse on Down Bad.
I
like Down Bad.
I think they were scared to get bodied
Yeah.
by him. They gave him like 20 seconds because Nudie can rap better than most people. Like he is just such a good rapper. Like his star power is like he's also 21 Savage's cousin. Fun fact.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, he kind of got famous for the Pissy Pamper song with Cardi.
The only reason I know the Cardi.
Yeah, and
the project he did with Pierre.
Slimier. I'm
Slimier.
hoping to review that on here too. So, all right. So we had our favorite moments. What were some of the moments that were kind of lackluster on this project? Some things that you might have wanted to see that you didn't see. For me, I think it would have been major features. Like I would have liked to see. Yes, Cole did go out of his way to get Guap Dad 400, Reese LaFleur, Ski Mask, Young Nudie, but I still would have liked to see that extra push. Like maybe have Thug on there, maybe have someone a little more out of bounds for Dreamville,
Right.
And less filler features, like less Omen, Cause. Like I understand he has an obligation, but like I would just love to see like a tight tight project.
It feels like they didn't go too far out of their camp. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
feels like they didn't go crazy
Yeah.
far, and I feel like that's always how they've been.
Yeah, 100%.
And I mean, I can get down with like that's
play
but-
close to the chest.
But
Yeah.
like what you were saying, like they brought so many artists in there. I mean, I was telling you earlier about how I got the chance to meet Kaz and talk with him a couple months ago, right before the project dropped. But after the sessions, and I was asking him how those, what the sessions were like, and then I watched the documentary, and everything he told me kind of lined up with the documentary, saying the like competitiveness in there. Artists like competing to hop on tracks, producers like fighting for the aux, trying to get on the boards, and that kind of like pushed everyone
that
to
environment pushes them to rap against each other. And that's what I like. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but
You see
then he
more of
was
that.
saying like it was almost surreal because he said he got a chance to work with guys like Akon came through.
Didn't make the project.
I bet there's a
But they
bunch
make-
of dudes we don't even know that didn't make this
Right,
project.
Akon. He said like Mike Will made it, Ty Dolla $ign, Swiss Beats.
I think Chance was there too.
Or-
even,
yeah,
maybe?
Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah, what? Let me
Right.
get some Isaiah. That's all I want to hear right now.
Right.
That man's missing.
like some heavy hitter guys that like probably were just like consultants for a few tracks, and then even a verse didn't show up or a production credit. But yeah, I would have liked to see like a couple bigger features. But I think like you were mentioning something about like the Drake verse on the Cole and Nudie
yeah,
song
on Sunset.
But I think that was kind of smart. Like as much as I love Drake, like I think that kind of would have stole the headlines. Like
No,
just like a
100%.
Drake verse. Like Cole was like, you know what? I want this to be focused on my artists, and I want this to be like a platform for the Dreamville brand. And I think that's entirely what he did. Like the T.I. and the Baby features, like those are kind of the most like A-list features.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they kind of fit in perfectly. They didn't like steal the show, but they were very complimentary and lifted up the tracks that they were a part of.
1000%. Brandon, what do you think?
So like I was saying before, I'd really like to hear more stuff like this. I feel like the only compilation thing we hear now is like we'll get like DJ Drama and he'll put like Migos on there, and
Yeah,
it's just like that
Post Malone featuring
Yeah,
Migos.
like I don't want to hear that. I want to hear more. Like this really like hit with me because I feel like we haven't seen something this pure, this like with these guys like this, or not even just them in general, just rappers. Like where do you see a bunch of rappers to get together like right now? I
and
feel
just
like,
chill, like
and just chill. Or now it's
and make good music. That's
Yeah,
really the
you don't
part
get
that you get a lot. Like everybody takes pictures with everybody, but like who sits down and actually makes quality music together?
We don't have a
Right.
whole lot of freaking or like super rap groups anymore. You know what I mean?
Not
Like
really.
everyone's kind of on their own doing their thing. We don't get rap, and if they were a rap group, they will separate it at some point, I
And
guess. But
1993 really reminded me of Scenario by Tribe. That's really what the vibe I got from that. That was one of the better songs on the record. I'd also like to say
Definitely.
that some of the better artists on there were Smino,
Buddy.
Saba, Buddy. Buddy was
I didn't know
everywhere.
Buddy. He's like an R&B artist. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Buddy, Guap Dad.
Yeah, Guap Dad 4000. I knew, but and that's my favorite part about these projects is finding artists that Cole co-signs that I may not listen to enough. And this is kind of like Cole telling me like, hey, you should probably listen to this person because they're very talented.
Buddy had me laughing. I went and I followed him on Twitter because he just had
Yeah.
me laughing the whole time.
He-
And it was
I
cool.
found Buddy from Nipsey actually. But
Okay.
he's on the Victory Lap record, and I found that around last March, and yeah, his music's absolutely fantastic. He's from California. If you guys need a suggestion, Buddy, his album's fantastic. What other features do you think that we haven't talked about that were pretty notable? I think we've.
I liked Reason on the Lambo.
Yeah, me too.
Lambo truck track with Kaz. Them going back and forth. I think their styles really meshed well together. And they were talking about like Rob and Cole. Like it was just very like
It was very
bar
OG,
heavy, like OG, like very West Coast. And then they were talking about like the TDE Dreamville like competition, which I liked.
Yeah.
I don't know, that I totally agree with you on the fact that like there were a lot of artists on here that I had never really that I've heard of but never really like listened to before, and I really liked some of those features. So I'm gonna be like checking out some of those deeper cuts from guys like Buddy and Guap Dad.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the points of this album is like Cole trying to promote some guys that he really likes and he really appreciates as artists.
All right. So 1 to 10 rating. What are we giving it?
I really liked it. Like I probably like 8.5.
I say 8.
I give it a
8.
7. I give it a
Yeah.
7. It still didn't have like enough standout tracks to me, and I guess I definitely would have liked a more condensed feature list. but the tracks I did find, and my favorite song again on there was "Ladies, Ladies, Ladies." I've listened to that like 40
I
times.
probably listened to Swivel 100 times, and then when I first, what was like, did you guys dive right into it, or did you take it track by track? 'Cause I feel like this, it kind of gives you the option to go around, but at the same time, it all feels like they're made in the same time.
I started from the top.
Yeah, I
track
have to.
by track.
I went right. See, I
have to.
can't. My brain, I don't work sometimes, so I'll just like go right into the album. And the first thing I put on was what's that one they're robbing the bank? Wells Fargo. Yeah,
Wells Fargo.
That
Yeah,
song is
yeah,
so
That's a crazy
nice.
song.
No, I have to listen.
That shit's cool.
I have to listen to albums from the top.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
I just can't. Like I don't know. I need to get like the full feeling. Like I want to feel like everything about albums is like them trying to communicate a feeling, and I feel like you kind of screw it up when you don't go in order.
I feel like you really don't need to go in order with this one because it's sessions. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
Yeah, but they were so tedious. Also, I should probably say that the production on this entire album
Production's
was
crazy.
perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
they brought in as many producers as they did artists. So
Yeah.
as good as the rapping was going to be, the production was going to be just as good, if not even better.
I almost think the production was better than the rapping. Like the production was so good on every
Like
single
very,
song.
very good.
And it wasn't like too meshed. What do you think, Brandon? The production or the rapping? Which part did it?
I
impress
actually
you more?
think the rapping stood out to me on this one a little bit. Like the production, I did like the production, but I haven't dove deep into who was doing what on this yet. So like for right now, reason I started listening to it is because of the rapping. So
Yeah. All right. So we're getting an 8.5 from Michael.
8.5.
An 8.
I give it an 8 because I've been listening to like right now. It's the only thing I've been like keeping on repeat, right? Like these past few days.
And I'm giving
yeah.
it a 7, which is still pretty high for me.
Right. Let me
Yeah.
ask you guys this though: where do you think it ranks amongst albums this year so far?
Pretty mid. Pretty well. I don't know. It hasn't been really the best rap albums that have come out all year are Bandana,
Igor.
and
I haven't listened to Bandana yet.
We count Kevin Abstract's album?
Yeah,
That's
I
pop?
was
I mean, is that
about-
pop? It
no,
says
no, no,
pop
it's rap.
on there, I
No,
think.
it's
But
rap.
I mean, that really.
no, it is rap. That,
Sam, I remember you put me on to Pinata
Yeah.
way back when.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
put me
back
on
in high
that
school.
song.
Yeah, you put me on. That's the reason I'm here with you, Freddie Gibbs. You and my brother got me into Pinata.
Yeah,
And that-
Pinatas and the Bandana record's just unbelievable. Like it is unbelievable. I'm trying to think. I think that really might be it. It's been kind of a slow year for music.
I really think it has too. I don't think anyone would agree with me because we feel like stuff comes out all the time. But I was just going through like what came before we came on, so I could give you guys like a top 3.
Right.
And I really couldn't even.
There wasn't
a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah,
that I
not a
liked.
lot of like huge drops.
Juice
from,
WRLD
like, the
came
huge,
out. I don't
yeah.
care about Juice WRLD.
I like
I like
Juice WRLD. I like Juice WRLD a lot myself.
You used to say he's like just like a knockoff Uzi or something.
I mean,
You
yeah,
used
he's
to
a
trash
knockoff
him.
Uzi.
No, but he can rap so well. Juice
Yeah.
WRLD can rap like crazy, and he has such a dynamic like flow. He can rap like screamo, kind of like X, with songs like Syphilis, and he has kind of this like star quality for pop hits like Lucid Dreams. Juice WRLD is just so dynamic, and he's just one of those artists I think I would have been more impressed if XXX has never existed, because XXX was someone who's so good at being dynamic that it kind of makes everyone else look like a B level, if that makes sense.
I feel like XXX let everyone do that, like screamo type, not screamo, just like dress kind of grungy. Like who
Yeah,
was dressing
right.
grungy before that? Like
yeah, Kanye,
Uzi, I guess. No,
Kanye.
but seriously, like these dudes look like they were like
Yeah,
they
no,
were
I
pretty,
get what you're
like they would worship. It looked like they worshiped something that wasn't God. You know?
saying.
like,
Yeah, like Odd Future, kind of like Odd Future.
Not even like these dudes look like X had like he would
Yeah,
wear like
yeah,
black
yeah,
eye
no,
contacts.
yeah,
like
yeah,
what?
I mean, so did Tyler in the Yonkers video.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
But that was for a look. I feel like this guy X was probably walking around all day looking like that.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
like Tyler would get in these modes and he would just portray the mind of a serial killer and
Yeah.
play that off.
And that's
well,
just X's
and
life.
have me like 15 listening to it, like this is nice.
Yeah, it just like I don't know, with artists like Tory Lanez and Trippie Redd, like their dynamicness is way less interesting to me because I think X is so much better at it.
Yeah.
You're comparing Tory Lanez to
Yeah,
to X.
100%. Tory Lanez can sing, he could rap, he could fit into any beat.
I love Tory Lanez.
I do too, and I've been listening to him for like 5 years. I'm just saying, like the dynamicness of Tory Lanez is his best quality. It's how able he
his
is.
versatility.
Yeah, to morph into whatever.
I think he's more of a Drake mold than a X mold.
Yeah.
Come on, he's got the
yeah,
he's got the
100%.
Toronto vibe.
He
He
is
could do
Toronto,
he could do
isn't
the trap stuff. Yeah.
That's the only reason I know
Right,
is
yeah,
trap
he's from
soul.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Right.
All I know is trap soul.
Oh, that's Bryson Tiller.
Oh, is
Bryson
that Bryson
Tiller.
Tiller?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They're-
Another one of my favorites.
No, he's so
Still
nice
waiting
too.
on his album.
You're listening to 103.5 WNHH, your home for local and community radio, streaming live at the NewHavenIndependent.org and on TuneIn. Listen to us on Apple Podcast. So up next that we're talking about is the unfortunate imprisonment of one of my favorite rappers of our time, Mr. A$AP Rocky. He got into a fight in Sweden, which he says was not perpetrated by him. and now he has been in prison for the last 5 days, and he's going to be there for at least another week. They just reported that he was in unsanitary conditions, hasn't had clean drinking water in weeks, and in a week has had one apple to eat, sleeps on a yoga mat. People are throwing feces apparently, like that. These are the reports coming out about the Swedish prison. So what do you think the game would miss without A$AP Rocky? And do you think that he's kind of underrated?
I think he's perfectly right. I think he fits where he stays like right now. I think where people view him, I feel like everybody sees him as like just Rocky. You know what I mean? Like everyone knows Rocky, and I don't know. He just got this like pretty boy flow, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just always with.
I think without him, the game is missing like probably one of the biggest trendsetters
Such trendsetter.
in terms of
Fashion.
culture,
music.
of the culture, the culture of his style of his rapping, the style of his sound, but also like the fashion. Like guys, you see every rapper now wearing like designer clothes. Lil Baby,
all 'cause of
Gunna,
Rocky.
Thug.
All 'cause of Rocky.
It's all because of Rocky. He was the
100%.
first one to take like that like New York Fashion Week styles,
Well,
and
except
take
for
that
Kanye.
to the streets.
Except for Kanye.
Other than Kanye, Pharrell were
Yeah.
a bit into high fashion. But like Rocky really brought that like to the streets, and also his like Rocky's kind of sound when he first came out was really like a hybrid mesh of like Dirty South, kind of like the Houston sound and like the New York like boom bap vibe that we all know.
Definitely sounded tough.
Like it was definitely, his sound was one of a kind at the time, and like the collective, the whole A$AP movement and collective and everything, like he really paved the way for a lot of like 2010s like artists.
And Playboy Cardi, honestly.
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like he doesn't get a lot of credit because his music is always so appreciated like a year or two later. Like at the time, his music sounds really abrasive and kind of like too experimental, and it's not what we want, but like in a year or two, everyone ends up liking his records. So like if you guys remember with Testing, I don't know, do you guys like Testing?
I like Testing. I wasn't a fan of it at first, and there was a few tracks that I really like hit with me. Was that one with French, Brother Man? I like that a lot. The one with Frank's on there.
Yeah, Frank's on there twice with Purity
Frank's
and Brother
Purity's
Man.
awesome. Trying to think what else was really.
OG Beeper's really nice. F Sleep, like he just is so different than everyone else, and I think it really throws people off. I think that's why
So you like Testing?
love Testing.
It definitely grew on me. I didn't like it at first.
Same. It definitely grew on me as well.
I really didn't. It kind of bored me at first. I'm not gonna lie.
No, exactly.
Because his last project, what was the name of the project with
At Long Last A$AP.
with the Yams face
Yep,
on the
At Long
cover?
Last
Yeah,
A$AP.
that was, I loved that. Came out my junior year of high school.
Yeah,
That was like
That
that
kinda-
was a crazy record to
that
me.
kind of was hard for me to get into too. Like at first, like the first time I heard it, it was like a little too much for me. And then like as the years kind of went by, it started to end up being a masterpiece. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just feel like it's so weird to see someone so famous and so big be in prison like this. I think that, and he could go away for 6 years. Like we have no idea what's gonna go on, and I feel like people are really gonna like. We just live in this culture where when people leave, that's when we start appreciating them.
Right.
Like no one gets their praises while they're here.
Same way with Nip. Same way with
Mac. It's the same thing is that like when people leave or die or go to prison, that's when people start getting appreciating them. So that's why I'm talking about Rocky's legacy. Is I feel like people are kind of missing on the fact that Rocky's a legend. Do you guys think Rocky's a legend?
Yeah, for our generation, he's up. I think he's up there with, if we're talking like 2010s, like Cole, Drake, Kendrick.
Rocky would be one of those names. That's one of the names
Rocky's
you mentioned
up
when you're
there.
just like, these are the rappers I like. Like
Right.
Rocky is always, and I feel like he's also like a household name. I feel like everyone might not have heard his music, but you know what he looks like.
No.
You know his
100%.
style. Even my mom knows who A$AP
Yeah, I
Rocky.
feel like
She's
my
like, oh,
parents
he's
gotta know who he is.
he's the handsome guy who's wearing the at Fashion Week, doing all the
He is so.
doing all this stuff.
I ran into Rocky at Kanye West concert on my 19th birthday. He like walked by me in line to go to the Kanye West concert. I'd never seen anyone with brighter teeth in my life. Like genuinely,
that's the other thing he brought back. He kind of brought the gold grills back.
He kind of brought like the essence of Houston music, because Houston music isn't really what people don't really understand is that like when you're in Connecticut and stuff like that, like the culture of other rap places are not going to reach here. Like Southern music, Houston music, that is not going to get here. But Houston culture is just so big. The big grills, the big chains, the spinners on the cars, the bouncy cars, the hydraulics, like all this imagery that we kind of associate with a rapper kind of comes from Houston. So A$AP Rocky kind of took the New York swag and kind of brought it together with production from Space Ghost Perp. A$AP Yams was pretty involved. Like he really just kind of collected all the stuff he liked and made his own style.
Right.
and I really wish that people would appreciate him more. But I don't know. I'm just kind of worried that he's gonna be like, he's just so intricate in everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
You think all these reports are like true with him like not eating and how these Swedish prisons are held?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say if it's true, but I feel like it's definitely there. Even if it's a grain of truth, it's still really screwed up for the situation. Because if you look at the video, he tried to de-escalate the situation, and the people around him were the ones, like the people who were trying to fight him were the ones that kind of brought the fight to fruition.
Yeah, clearly disoriented people.
Yeah, and it just like, you just hate when big stars go to prison, like Wayne going to Rikers, and then right when he was getting big. You have so many artists that like right in their prime they end up going to prison.
Right.
And it's just like, it's definitely been one of the plagues of this generation. If you think about it, you have Youngboy, Kodak,
Meek. I don't listen to a whole lot of Meek after he's been out of prison. Like, not saying like last whole album, I haven't gotten into him since, but I used to love like those Dreamers tapes. Those were like the best.
Yeah, no, 100%. But
I was telling you earlier, it reminds me of the situation with DJ Esco, Future's DJ, when
56 Nights.
He got caught with what, weed or something?
Yeah, he got caught with weed.
What was the country?
In Dubai.
Dubai. And he spent 56 nights there, and that's probably regarded as one of Future's best projects produced by Esco. When he came back and they put that out, that was super hard.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe this could be like the next chapter in Rocky's tale. He comes back and drops a mixtape or something quick when he comes back. He's got to be writing in there.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of what happened to 21 Savage, too. When 21 Savage was threatened to be deported for being from the UK.
Yeah.
that was the craziest day of my life. Like, I woke up from this nap and I was like 21 Savage is from the UK. I was like rubbing my eyes. I thought like I was like, what? And like you got it was just so crazy to watch like all these like old people on my Facebook and stuff share this picture of this guy with a knife tattooed in his face. He's like, free 21 Savage. Like, he's a political prisoner. Like, it took that for like old people to know who 21 Savage is. But yeah. I wonder if this will like because Rocky's not really that popular of a rap. He's a popular person, but he doesn't sell a lot. Like, he doesn't really like have that star power in the music world. His last record sold 70K.
Well. In hip hop, he has the popularity, but not
outside
as much in the. He doesn't have the mainstream appeal that Drake and Kendrick do.
Yeah, which is so funny because when they first started out, they were all pretty much at the same level. Like 2011, Drake, Kendrick, and Rocky were all the same, and it's kind of interesting to see how they've all kind of delved into their own lane.
Yeah, I feel like 2015, you would name those like 5 guys.
Yeah,
like, and they were always
even back to 2012.
Yeah,
back to 2012.
Well,
did you guys hear that track with him and Tame Impala, Sundress?
Yeah, I've heard it.
What would you think about Rocky joining a band? What do you think about any rapper joining a band and like trying to make that type of music? Would that throw you off?
Well, like Lil Wayne back in when he went through his rock phase,
or Jay-Z with Linkin Park? No, not even like that.
Are you talking about like a rock band, or are you talking about like a rap band?
I've always been under the opinion I would love if Uzi joined a punk band. Like if Uzi had like a full band.
Juice WRLD, yeah, I can
like
see
someone like that. Even someone like Rocky, like joining like Tame Impala or something. Not even joining, but like has his own collective like that. Like, would that appeal to you? Do you think that you would like if more rappers were more band like?
Yeah, because I think that like sound, that kind of like grungy, like emo rock sound is kind of like the new sound in hip hop with the younger guys. Like with Juice WRLD and the guys like you were saying, like X and whatever, like they very like rock, like pop rock influenced. Especially Juice WRLD's new album. A lot of like guitars on there in the production, like
it's really interesting.
It's very
emo
rock.
It's like Blink-182
emo influenced.
Yeah. Well, what about Cudi tried to do something like that, and I didn't love that a whole lot.
Yeah, but that was a rock album. I'm talking about like actually joining a band, like having like a real band.
I mean, I listen to bands, so I couldn't imagine. I would totally listen to it.
I feel like it'd be so cool.
I think I could definitely be something that would be successful. People would listen to it.
Yeah, I don't know. And he kind of did it with the song Sundress, which I'll play in a second, with Tame Impala.
I just saw a piece on Genius about Tame Impala, about his like how rappers love him, Tyler and ASAP.
I mean, like, Kevin Parker has done production on Wake Up by Travis.
He did Wake Up with Travis. He worked on Ye. I forget what track he was on, like Violent Crimes or something.
Yeah.
But he's extremely well respected, like in the hip hop world.
No, I would definitely.
as a guitar player.
Also in the background is Sundress by A$AP Rocky and Tame Impala.
Is there a video for this at all?
Yes, there is.
That's
It's
why I know
awesome.
this. I know
It's
some
awesome.
video. That's why I like Rocky. He'll put these like trippy visuals in with everything.
I mean,
that's why.
Rocky has like one of the best music videos I've seen of our time, which is LSD.
Oh, that's easily one of the greatest.
Like
love that video.
His just like quality together. Your mom just commented, Michael. She says they are great together.
Thanks, Mom.
I think when I came out, I just replayed
Hi,
that
Mom.
first like 30 seconds where he's like looking in the mirror. I played that over like 100 times.
And we just got a good comment saying that it's kind of like Sunday service, but I'm not talking about Sunday service like a choir. I'm talking about like a
band,
like a 4 or 5 person
band,
like the Sex Pistols, like something like that. Because that's where people that's where Uzi kind of gets all this influence, whether we realize it or not. It's from these punk groups. I'd really like to see him join a punk band. I think that'd be really interesting. Like I don't know. I would love to see rap just kind of just keep growing and expanding. Cause that's how genres survive.
Where it's going. It seems like that's where it's going.
We have another comment, Vic Mensa, and he did join a band. Vic Mensa joined a pop punk band like 2 weeks ago. It was trash, but he did join.
no one even pays attention to Vic Mensa anymore.
Which is really sad because
he's talented. Because he's talented.
In a Tape was amazing.
Amazing.
Yes, amazing. And Wolves, like the feature on
Wolves is one of my
like,
it's like an all-time favorite
and then,
song
like,
of mine.
After that, he just got like political or something.
And
What happened?
He
to
like
him?
shaved his head, took steroids, went at all the like the young rappers, then tried to take their sound.
Yeah.
And now he like wears.
I don't know,
what was one of his most recent albums? I like
He's
listened
like a rock
to the.
star in it. And he's
I listened to
horrible.
I listened to the
It's
whole
probably terrible.
thing through, and I was like, the autobiography.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. The autobiography wasn't that bad. A Connecticut native, Rivers Cuomo's on there. Yeah, Connecticut native.
Weezer?
Yes, Weezer. Yeah. Also,
just didn't do it for me.
Fun
like,
fact.
it sounded corny.
Rivers Cuomo has a full degree, 4-year degree for English from Harvard. It's fun fact. And he's from 20 minutes from here,
Nice.
Fairfield, Connecticut. But yeah,
Kenny Beats from Greenwich.
Yeah,
I know your guy.
Oh my God. Yeah, we can get into it. I want to save that, but yeah.
Did he have any credits on Dreamers? Because I know he was at the.
He did.
No, he didn't.
No?
He didn't get on there. No.
But he was in the sessions.
So we're gonna do a quick track review. I'm gonna let it play out. Here's Phone Numbers by Dominic Fike. Dominic Fike is a Naples native who kind of rocks with Kevin Abstract. So you guys hear it for a little bit.
Why you switch phone numbers like clothes? Why you can't answer me? Cause I got more. Why you not here with me? Can you break bread with me? Why you switch phone numbers like clothes? Why you can't answer me? Cause I got more. Yes, I blew my shorty from Florida to Hollywood. Got some gold, shit look big on me. Got some goals, it's a list on me. Yellow bitch, I'm rich, I rock and roll. The strippers in the strobe playing tricks on me. The stones hitting different, you supposed to be pissed at me. No, they from Tiffany. Keep my name out your mouth like some wisdom teeth. You wonder why I'm not there with you. I ain't answered my phone in so long. Why you not here with me? Can you break bread with me?
So this is Kenny Beats, hottest rap producer in the game. Anyone gonna argue with me on that? I think Kenny.
Right, are we talking
right
like
now,
at the
right,
moment
right,
or
right
like
now,
the
at the
year?
moment. Kenny
For the summer, definitely 100%. That's all I see.
His
That's all
sound is so different from an avid music producer. Like his stuff is crazy,
and he's so good at morphing his sound. That's the thing, is that like a lot of people don't have these crossover like abilities like he has. And Kenny, like, he just produced Dominic Fike's record, and he's producing like everyone you could possibly think of.
Because he used to do EDM, like mostly EDM stuff. And then he dove into the hip hop realm because that's kind of, I think more money's in there in terms of productions and placements and stuff.
And it's probably more interesting. And and the thing is that he's bringing interesting production to rap, because I feel like we were kind of at this standstill where people just knew the exact sound that they wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone was kind of producing the same way. And then Kenny Beats comes in here and he's producing for Youngboy, Quando Rondo. If you guys don't know Quando Rondo, he's so nice.
Quando Rondo, right?
Youngboy, Thug, Rico Nasty, like he has just such a wide array.
Ski Mask, that's one of my favorite beats.
Foot Fungus. Yeah. Kenny Beats is just like, he just brings this sound to hip hop that is just so interesting but so simple. Like, just don't overthink it.
Right, like the sounds he uses. I mean, you watch the Cave, his YouTube series, and he just will like throw together a beat in like 10, 15 minutes for an artist, and they'll go freestyle. But he really focuses on like different like percussion sounds. It's not very melodic, but the way he molds the sounds together, he'll like make melodies and like different types of rhythms out of these like random sounds that if you heard it by itself, you're like, this sound is trash. Like this sound is like so bad, but then he arranges them into a way that is like so creative and just sounds just as like pleasant to the ear.
So, Brandon, you think Kenny Beats is the producer of the summer?
I think that's what I said before, producer of the summer, because I wasn't too familiar with him before, but I just kept seeing his name, and then I saw you were tweeting about Rico Nasty, and they had this one cool video that I was listening to.
Yeah,
and
Smackabee. I think that's the video you're talking about.
I mean, there's another one.
Is it when they're in the studio together?
I don't know. I can't remember how long.
And he produced for Q to Fool. He's produced for everyone. Hood Rich, Pablo Juan, Fatboy Key. Like Key's on the Dreamo project too.
And they made a tape together.
Yeah,
which was good.
Yeah, it was awesome. 2-minute drills.
My girl put me onto that.
Yeah. Shout out his girl.
Yeah.
2-minute drills is awesome. But getting into this Dominic Fike record, I feel like Dominic Fike is just such a weird case of music. Like he has these like rap moments that are almost kind of like sublime and like kind of like old Wayne. I know it sounds really weird, but I think you guys know what I mean. Yeah. Like he like switches it up so much. It's like Jack Johnson, Blink 182. Like it's just so many meshes and influences you can hear there. Like what would you call Dominic Fike's music?
I feel like he fits right in. I feel like if you just took him and put him in Brockhampton, nobody would notice anything because that's what he looks like. That's what he sounds like.
But he's better. He's better than most.
Just
of those
that
guys.
like kind of hipstery, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Just that Brockhampton
he's
vibe
also
they give me.
he's also like kind of about that life, which is different from the Brockhampton guys. His album cover, if you don't know, to the Don't Forget About Me demos, is his mugshot from punching a cop in the face. And he's 19 years old. So that's authenticity if I've ever heard it.
That's amazing.
Like what I was saying, I don't know as much about him as you guys have because I've listened to phone numbers. I haven't listened to all his stuff, but like his vibe is definitely like modern pop.
Yeah, but it's weird.
But it's like appealing. Like his sound is very appealing across genres. Like it's got a lot of hip hop influences, but that's kind of what pop is today.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean.
Pop is always stealing from rap. Always.
You listen to the radio, you hear Ariana Grande. They all got rolling hi hats and like trap influences, but like he's got the kind of bounce and like the edge of a rapper, but like the lightheartedness and like the chill vibe of like
the accessibility,
pop, a little bit of rock, like.
Yeah, he's very accessible. Anybody can listen to him.
I think he's gonna blow up. I think he's gonna blow up heavy.
I don't know, Brandon. You think he's gonna blow up?
I don't think he's gonna blow up right away. Like I got put on him from Kevin Abstract. Like I don't. Other than like I feel like outside of that fan base, I don't really see anybody else listening to him. But then you said we put him on Kenny Beats. Yeah. And I think that is gonna just put him out into the rap a little bit more. But aside from like Brockhampton,
like if he got a Bieber feature. Like something like that, like he could
what
like.
What does Bieber even do these days? Isn't he like high all the time?
He's trying to fight Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just high all the time.
Yeah,
Bieber's
he's trying to get Tom Cruise in the ring.
Yeah, I would take Bieber any day. Bugatti Biebs got an iron jaw. So it's kind of funny. I was telling you guys off camera that when I posted Dominic Fike and I said that I really liked him online, I got a lot of response from my friends from Stetson, shout out Stetson, who said that he was from Naples and he's from like they've known him since like high school and they went to school with his brother.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Like you can look up this guy's mugshot. Like it's just so interesting. Like, and I don't know what it is. It's so infectious. Like his music is just so different from everything else. And I like that things are sounding the same. Like it doesn't really bother me that every rapper kind of has the same flow and same melody. Like that stuff doesn't really bother me anymore. I'm okay with it as long as you do it well. But this is just so different and unique to him, and I don't know. I'm addicted.
This is the first song that I got into. This is the first song. That
She Wants My Money.
I'm not gonna lie. In a way, he reminds me a little of like a male Billie Eilish.
Yeah,
because he's got that kind of like grungy, like super young. And like looks like an innocent like little kid, but
except for the
that,
face
like,
tattoo,
right? Except for the apple teardrop tattoo.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like he's got that kind of like depressing, like mellow, but at the same time like very like soothing. It's like chill vibe.
It's like upbeat and downbeat at the same time.
Right.
No, 100%. So Brandon, you don't think he's gonna blow up? Why do you think he's gonna blow up?
I don't think he's gonna blow up quite yet, just because he's not fully a rapper, and I don't see anybody blowing up that's not really rapping. I hate this. Like I don't.
What about Billie Eilish?
I don't know. I haven't really.
I think he's gonna blow up mainstream.
Eilish.
Like he's gonna come out with a track that's gonna like catch people on the internet, and it's gonna grow the same way Billie Eilish did when Ocean Eyes
she's
came out.
only with rappers right now, right? Like is she like on tour with like
Denzel?
Denzel
Curry. Yeah,
I want him to stay in his genre where I like that. It says like alternative. Like I love this this type of music. I don't want to hear him fully switch up and rap but that phone numbers was cool. Like
yeah, and him and Kenny Beats just had this really nice chemistry together.
And that didn't really sound like a classic like Kenny production either.
Hey, well, because Kenny can do anything. Like he's producing for a young boy. Like at the same time, like I don't know. It just I'm so obsessed with this guy. I've talked to him. Like I've talked about him multiple times on the show, just because like I don't know. His music's just so addicting.
Now that we're going back to that topic, I was also just kind of thinking for a minute. Like you were saying, producer of the summer, producer of the year right now. I mean, we got to mention Jetson made another one.
Oh my God,
because he's kind of killing it right now.
He's making every record on the track, like everything. Yeah, everything.
He worked with, I mean, obviously with DaBaby, but then with I think he worked with Lil Keed.
Yeah, Keed,
on a couple tracks.
He's worked with everyone. He is so good. Like,
yeah,
Jetson made another one. If you guys hear that tag, you know he's there. But yeah,
his beats are very simple. Like the melodies are very simple, but the drums are very hard and it's very catchy. Like Suge, like super simple beat, but like super catchy, and you know enough room for like an artist to make a hit record out of it.
So we're giving Dominic Fike all thumbs up. Any gripes with Dominic Fike?
All thumbs up.
I've been going hard on Dominic Fike for the past like 2 months maybe.
Yeah,
and that's literally all I've been listening to.
I mean, this is the second time I've taken a full segment out of my show to
that's what I'm saying,
to talk about him, and it's my third of my show. It's like my third show. Like seriously. I don't know. I love his music, and I would love to see him continue to make this type of music. All right, so our next topic, really quickly, hottest star of 2019. Who is it?
DaBaby.
DaBaby, right? It's across the board.
I mean, it's all you hear. It's all you hear. In the street, I mean, all I hear.
Yeah, DaBaby, but you can make an argument for Cole just because the whole Dreamville project. But the think about
that's just how many. It's just the lack of projects. I think you just threw him up. I would literally put him in the top 5.
If Cole dropped it, if Cole dropped the
but he's scheduled to drop his a mixtape and a full project by the end of the year.
Yeah,
and also think about the features he's done this year. He's done some huge features.
But his big features were last year. He was the best rapper of 2018.
That Khaled feature from last year was amazing. That was one of my favorite songs probably from last year.
And his Jid feature off these, like
think about this year though. The London.
I mean,
lot.
Thug kind of murked him on the London.
It's still a big record.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear more Thug. That was the last we heard of Thug, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the song the track he did with Offset.
Yeah,
Look
it was
how
okay.
It got here. I like that song a lot.
That was my least favorite, one of my least favorite Cole features that he's had recently. I don't know. So we're saying DaBaby, we're saying Cole, which is interesting.
DaBaby's definitely dominated.
They're both
this summer,
from North Carolina, which is really interesting because that's a scene that's kind of blowing up. My favorite rap scene right now is Memphis. I think Memphis music is just so crazy. And it's kind of an interesting scene. You have Moneybagg Yo, Key Glock, still 3-6 Mafia, Block Boy,
Take Keith.
Take
Shout out
Keith.
the producers.
Oh my God, Take Keith's production is just unbelievable.
So, he was at the Dreamville sessions.
Yeah,
it's crazy how like he was there and then like Ninth Wonder was there.
Yeah, I
love that though.
That was just such a cool thing to see like across the board, and like how collaborative the project was.
I think we'll get more of it. Like I think there'll be like more. I mean, if they held on to this for a little bit, if I recall. Like they had this for
they
a
had
good,
like clear
2 months.
records and stuff like that.
But not even that. Just it seemed like they had a lot more people involved, and we might have been left out a little bit. I know. I saw one of the guys in their camp tweet today and saying you might get like a taste of
other stuff.
Yeah, it was more that someone was asking about one of the songs they heard in the documentary, and they're like, maybe you'll hear it soon.
Well, Cole said about like 90% of the songs they recorded there will get released.
Hopefully. I mean, that'd be really nice. I mean, the Young Nudie Cole one was off the Chase the Money's album, and then he gave it to him. Because Chase the Money came out. That's how I knew Drake was supposed to be on there. Because Chase the Money came out of this track list, and that song was on there, but Drake was on there. Maybe it'll come out as a remix. But so, is there anyone else that we think that might be the hottest? Or honestly, I think Lil Keed is really hot right now. Like
he's really hot. He's bubbling.
Yeah,
he's bubbling.
Him and Lil Gotti.
You know what I mean? Like he's hot. It's hot in his own fan base. Like it's not like he hasn't blown up the way DaBaby's blown up.
It's hard to talk about an artist who sounds just like Young Thug and dresses like Young Thug and kind of goes with that sound. All right, yeah, it kind of goes with that sound. It's kind of hard to compare. Like it's interesting to hear people kind of copy Thug sound so to the book. You know what I mean? But we're both giving the recommendation. Lil Keed is amazing.
Right, but Keed is like he's like a Young Thug disciple. Like he's on 300 YSL. Like he's kind of Thug Junior. So you could imagine that he's gonna sound a lot like.
Do you guys
Thug.
like look forward to anything at all for the summer? We still have August. And, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What's scheduled to come out?
I mean, we don't know. I'm not saying
chances
aside
album.
from something that's like gonna come, we know is gonna come out. I'm saying like just someone you want to see. Who would you guys want to hear?
Thug's album.
Thug's album's gonna be crazy.
Thug's never come out with an album.
That's all I want.
None of them. Well, Beautiful Thugger Girls was technically
I
kind
love
of an
that
album.
album.
Yeah.
I love that
I
album
love
too.
that album.
And it's so funny because Old Town Road got big
Yeah.
off the Beautiful Thugger Girls sound, but no
Yeah.
one's heard Beautiful Thugger Girls. But yeah, so the hottest artist right now, we're all agreeing across the board is the baby.
The baby,
Yeah.
but I think you gotta look at like all the females right now too.
Oh
but
my God, Megan
but
Thee Stallion.
Right, but I wouldn't like pinpoint a single one, but just kind of like the whole female movement, like City Girls and Megan Thee Stallion.
Hot Girl
and-
Summer.
Yeah,
I don't
Hot
even
Girl
know
Summer.
what that is, but I see it a lot.
We're just a couple of city boys here at 103.5 WNHH, your home for local and community radio, streaming live at the New Haven Independent.org, and tune in, check us out on Apple Podcasts. So we have around 2 minutes left, and at the end of all my shows, I like to give the new song that I've been listening to that you might not know who it is. So you guys sit back. This is Zan Man, Heard Cuz Was Hot from the DMV. I'm a huge DMV person. The DMV flow is my favorite flow right now. So take a listen. Here is Heard Cuz Was Hot. If you are over 50, you will not like this, just if you're listening. I like to give that warning just in case people's parents are listening.
Bag of the work, put it on the scale. I'm a real demon, we gon' go to hell. I keep a hammer and the bullets that nail. Gucci flips, but I'd rather Chanel. They ain't trapping, why you gotta scale? Trap of the year, we going to Yale. No graduation, I might get expelled. Her cause it's hot, know he gon' tell. I get the work off like a mover. Walk down, I'ma creep like a cougar. Internet stay on your computer. Got the band, all I need is a tuba. Squares, I'ma call him a grid. Might drag your grandmother by a wig. Got it out the mud, feel like a pig. Let's just coop, ride around with a sig. If I was you, I would jump off a bridge. Chopper make him hold his heart like the plague. He ain't trapping, I don't care what they say. Locked in with a plug like a dread. I never freeze like some walk in the fridge. In the store like Piggy.
That continuous rhyme flow that you guys hear in the DMV flow that everyone else tries to copy, that choppy, like multi-syllable.
Oh, yeah, I know Lee Choppa.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Sounds
know
like
is
him a
Memphis,
little
but
bit.
it's kind of the same thing because it's pretty close to the region. But yeah, that is Zan Man. Heard Cuz Was Hot. He's blowing up. If you guys want to get on something that I really like, Zan Man is fantastic. You guys want to say bye before you head out?
So
Yes,
long.
sir. Yeah, Sam, thanks for having me.
me.
Go check out my beats on SoundCloud, Mikey D Beats. If there's any rappers out there that need some instrumentals, need a producer to work with,
Yeah.
I'm the guy. Hit me up.
well,
Follow me, Mikey D Beats.
This has been the Sam Hadelman Show. Thank you to Wiggy and Robbie for tuning in. Thank you to Mrs. DiMartino and Mr. DiMartino. And yeah, so next week I'll be reviewing Bandana. I might have a couple more guests on. Yeah, so thanks for listening.
Waiting. I hope I never keep you waiting. Yeah. I think I know it all, but I don't. Why you always at the mall when you're broke?